I would say in today's world with social media and the iPhone and all this other stuff going on, one of the most important assets you can have is credible sources. That's one of the biggest things of all. Once you can see what's going on, and there's an old song by Buffalo Springfield, battle lines are being drawn, and that's going to be the world economy. It's going to affect everybody, and those who pay attention will get richer, and those who don't will go to shelves that are empty. You'll see where the world economy is shifting to, from who, to where, and why. So in the silver market, every ounce of silver has been sold 240 times. They've sold the same ounce of silver more than once. So that's caused this liquidity crisis. Because it's fake money, fake teachers, fake assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I don't touch any of that garbage. So what does a liquidity crisis look like to mom and pop? The shelves are bare.
Right.
They're bare. So many people have gotten used to not rehypothecation, but refinancing.
Right.
And so if they cannot refinance their way out,
they default.
That's a crisis on the personal side. Mm-hmm. And I'm not really religious, but I remember from Sunday school, they said the poor will always be amongst us. Mom and pop, this is the microeconomics. Mom and pop are standing next to their Lincoln SUV, filling up the gas pump going, how come it was $50 last week, it's $100 this week? And what the hell's going on here? I could go on forever and ever and ever and ever.
Well, let's step back, okay? Years and years ago, I was benefit of studying with a man named Buckminster Fuller. He's considered a futurist. And he invented the geodesic dome and all this. I was at school in New York, went from Hawaii to New York, and I hitchhiked to Montreal, Canada, to Expo 67, the World's Fair on the Future, because I like looking into the future. And Bucky Fuller's dome was there, and I went through there. I said, man, that guy thinks differently, Buckminster Fuller. And so I learned more by doing, not by reading books. When I'm doing something, I learn more. And I went through the geodesic dome. It blew me away. I went, holy man. So that's how it all got started.
The school I went to was U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. It's one of the 5 federal schools. And I came under the Department of Commerce. So my background is supply chain. And I drove oil tankers with Standard Oil. And I went to the academy at Kings Point. We were basically told, that supply chain is macro, macro, macro. And if you don't see the macro, you won't see the micro.
And so for 3 years, 81, 82, and 83, I studied with Fuller during the summer. Next year sometime, I'm coming out with a book called The Raven. And the raven in Greek mythology was the god of prophecy. Fuller was a futurist. John Denver wrote a song about him, calling him the grandfather of the future. And so here's this book here, Rich Dad's Prophecy, just to prove I back up what I say. I can prove I said this stuff. So I said the biggest stock market crash is still coming. And this was after the 2008 crash. I practice what I preach, and I do what I say I'm doing. The 2008 crash was just a prelude for the bigger crash coming, which we are in today in 2022. I think it's bigger than Lehman Brothers crash because they never fixed the problem. In fact, the whole problem is that the global economic system is rigged. It was based upon fake money. They just kept printing more, using more debt. Money is debt. If we don't borrow money, money doesn't exist. So money comes into existence because every time you use your credit card, take out a mortgage, buy a car, that's when money is created. And that goes back to 1913. Again, the Federal Reserve Bank was created. In 1913, in America, the Internal Revenue Service was created, the IRS, because money cannot exist without debt and taxes. Fuller passed away in 1983. In 84, his book came out called The Grunch of Giants. Grunch of Giants stands for Gross Universal Cash Heist. It's how our wealth is stolen via our money. And that fit my whole internal belief system. I said, man, this guy is onto it. Fuller is onto it. So I read Grunch of Giants, and that's how I can write books like Prophecy. So I'm sitting there going, holy moly. I'm on the outside trying to figure it out. And what are these guys up to? When real estate goes down, it's a financial crash more than anything else. Money is cheap right now, zero. Get it free.
Yeah.
Why would you save it? So what that does is it's this big sucking sound, like it's going down the toilet right now. When real estate goes down, it takes all the economies of the world with it. In September 17, 2019, our repo market collapsed. And the repo market is the shadow banking system, as they call it. You don't see that market, but I'm watching the shadow banking system. Unfortunately, what I was calling for has happened. It's here now. I was Chicken Little, crying the sky is falling, running around saying stupid things. But unfortunately, today it's coming true. Everything I predicted is coming true. So it's sad, I'm worried, I'm very concerned about humanity and the world right now. I said such blasphemous things as your house is not an asset, the rich don't work for money, and savers are losers. I got attacked. Most people want to be employees.
Okay.
They want the paycheck and they want the pension, they want security. And I don't blame them. But unfortunately, with artificial intelligence coming and replacing more and more people, soon Uber drivers will be out of jobs too. And they came after me because I was stepping on some big toes. When you say savers are losers, that's the bankers. And when you say the rich don't work for money and all this stuff, I'm going against education. Everything is the opposite of what they're teaching you in school. What the school teach you about money? Answer's nothing. It's crickets, just nothing. The trouble is our school system trains us to be employees. You're being screwed.
Yeah.
And it starts by going to school.
Yeah.
And your parents tell you to go to school.
Yeah. So
and my rich dad said, what are you going to learn in school? About money. I mean, you can learn to be a doctor or a lawyer, but you learn nothing about money. Most school teachers cannot survive in the real world. Not in my world, at least, because they don't have the mental strength, spiritual strength, emotional strength, or the education to sustain the battles of being an entrepreneur. Why would you listen to a poor person? Why would you listen to a poor person about money? And that was my poor dad. Very good man, PhD, but he always says, go to school. In school, we're taught to take our tests on our own. If you ask for help, you're cheating. It means you're stupid. It means you're weak. I didn't have that problem because I was stupid in school, so I was asked for help. But the teacher says that's cheating. In my world, it's called cooperation. And what I found with most smart people, they don't know how to cooperate. They don't know how to ask for help because in their brains, that's cheating. The biggest thing for most young people is that our schools teach us to be ICs, independent contractors.
okay.
Or self-employed, or even if you're an employee, you're still an independent contractor who has a job. And you by yourself. Much of the young world is in the selfie world. Look at me, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me. Whereas in my world, it's a team sport. I'm a rugby player. And I want the smartest attorneys, accountants, bookkeepers, bankers, politicians. I come at it as a team. And most people come out of school, they don't even know what accounting is. They say, oh, they taught me to balance a checkbook. I'm going, big deal. And just recently, a few months ago, they called parents terrorists in America because they actually dared to challenge the education system. They want to know what the heck they're teaching the kids, what they call them PTA meetings or Parent Teachers Association meeting. The parents are up and down and they get labeled terrorists. I'm afraid it's going to get worse. That's why I write, that's why I speak. This is why I think, this is why I work, this is why I teach. You have to question what they're teaching. That's what my brain is focusing on all the time. I'm always working. I never stop working. I just think about the economy, business, world affairs. My job is to make complex financial systems simple enough so the average person can understand it. That is extremely difficult because most people are brainwashed when it comes to money. It's because of the system that controls the world economy. And guys like you can't even see it. You're thinking about money. I don't even care about money. I make a lot of money because I understand the system. I don't operate according to the rules of employee America. I operate according to the rules of corporate America.
Yeah.